Attacking football.
Attacking football.
Attacking football.
Attacking football.
Okay.
I don't want to throw LA under the bus here, but
Here we go.
he did say he feels that this current squad is good enough to win the Premier League. So
that is
I
true.
want to.
Yeah, I stand by that.
I want to ask. I want to ask to the two lads. What players out of the current squad do you feel will be part of a title-winning side at Manchester United? Let's say within the next 5 years. What players in that current squad right now?
That's a very different question, Dill.
I know.
You want to ask like which players do you think have the potential to be good enough for that title-winning squad if we win a title in the next few years? Yeah. I think that's fair because like let's say we won a title in 3 years, who would be a part of it? Okay, who would be? You'd say that guy was good enough. That makes sense. One I think is Marcus Rashford. I know he's the fifth leading European scorer for United ever. I mean the statistics are crazy there.
Yeah.
He's been good this season. You know when he's going and when the team is going, he's going to be good. And he's absolutely good enough to be a title-winning forward. He's better than a lot of the forwards have been at City or Chelsea when they've won titles. You know he is. So him, Kobbie Mainoo can absolutely be good enough in the right setup. As long as we don't burn him out to do that for sure. I don't think you will with Bruno Fernandes. I don't think we have the knowledge to say with Manuel Ugarte at all yet because we haven't seen him play. We know not with Casemiro. We know that Eriksen's too old. Mason Mount can't get on the pitch for 5 minutes. So that's the only midfielder we've got that I would feel confident in saying that. Mason Mount has won a Champions League, so it's sort of a funny thing here. But
like it's the same situation. There's no idea.
He's got to get on the pitch. You can't stay healthy for 2 games. He's got another injury.
I thought you meant he wasn't being played. That's fair. I think that's fair. It's reasonable.
No, he's just too injured. In the back, Luke Shaw's the same thing. He could be the best left back in the world if he could actually play. But so no, Lenny Yoro will be. He 100% will be. It's the most guaranteed top level center back there. The injury is not going to be a big deal. He's young and it's not that he'll be fine after all of that. I think Harry Maguire is a center back that you could win a title with in the right team, but I don't think you will win a title with Harry Maguire as your starting center back. As your third center back, I think so. I think you can. I think he could be a third center back. I don't think you can with Lissandro. I think we've seen a lot of him being exposed to the weaknesses that you have, which is you just need to be a better channel defender who can run in the spaces more, which is why I think Maguire's a better third center back than a second center back.
Space,
but Lenny Yoro can do it. And I think Dallow's good enough. I think Dallow's been great for the last few years, and I think that if we had a more stable and balanced setup, he would grow into the team more. Yeah. So I think what's that? Oh, Onana? Yeah, I think Onana's good. I like Onana.
Yeah, me too.
He's got a mistake in him, but who doesn't? I mean, Ederson was making some hilarious errors early on for City, and
I think the biggest problem with Onana is that he plays for Manchester United.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good point.
Magnifies everything. I agree.
Yeah.
But
and the curse, that he's going to have to make big mistakes.
I want to add a couple players. I do want to add a couple players. In defense of Sandro Martinez, right? He's a great center back who is the current system is exposing his weaknesses, and I think that he has more positives than negatives, right? Like they're inverting Dalot on the left wing, and he should not be playing left back. I think Masraoui should be left back all day.
I agree with that.
The problem is when he's inverting Dalot on the left wing, right? They're not moving a midfielder into his position to cover. So you're exposing Lissandro without any cover. And if you look at how Arsenal does it, right? When they invert, they move Rice into that space to cover. And it's not happening. So you're exposing Lissandro, who was a great center back last year, and I still think is a great center back, but you're exposing him in a way that is unfair to him. I will add a couple of names. I think I'm a huge Amad Diallo fan. I'm a little biased in this one. I think he's a fantastic player. I also have way too much faith in Højlund and Xerxes. I think they're young, but I do think that played correctly, right, they can really work well together. And I would add those two, and then I think that's probably, I know Nana, obviously, that's probably it from that I can think of. Maybe Garnacho, if
Garnacho,
he's also
for sure. Yeah.
Garnacho, if he's played correctly as well. Like, a lot of this is just stipulated on the fact that, like, we don't actually know a lot of these new players' true talents because they haven't been played in the ways that they should. That's,
Well, that brings me neatly back to Dylan's original question when he said he was going to throw me under the bus, because I said that this squad is capable of winning the league with another manager. So
yeah,
let's ask you two boys that. Do you think if we change managers, and you can pick any manager that you want, you can have Pep, you can have Klopp, you can have anyone, is the current squad capable of winning the league on quality alone?
No.
I mean,
really?
it's hard to argue it like that because, like, Leicester won the league with a much worse squad.
Yeah.
Fergie's last year, and obviously you can't compare the greatest manager of all time.
If we take Pep, because then City wouldn't have him, then maybe it helps. But
no, I think with a real top manager,
Conference North.
In Conference North, yeah.
With a real manager, I think we could. I really do think that this team, I don't know why this isn't focusing, I really do think that this team is a lot better than people give it credit for, and I do think the main issue is probably the strikers and the forwards, but I think that, the argument I struggle with is, like, we have a really high XG, but we have some of the lowest goals, and is the question then, like, are forwards actually that bad, or is it the system? And I don't really have an answer for that. It's hard to argue with. I just think XG is bullshit anyway, so whatever. But
I think the biggest problem is Bruno Fernandes and our reliance on him to play. And that we will never win a title that way. I don't think we can. We have to change. And that's why I say no, because we don't have a balance. We still don't have a balanced midfield, no matter what we play.
Yeah.
And I think we need
midfield. We do. It's just not
with who?
No, we don't. We don't.
With who?
Our midfield goes missing in
Bruno.
every game.
Okay, hear me out.
It's never going to happen with Bruno. Not title winning.
And Xerxes with Højlund as the 9, and then Diallo and Rashford.
Xerxes is not a 10. Xerxes is not a 10. It's not going to work.
9. I don't know anything about football, so maybe I'm wrong. But
I think that works in a 4-4-2 with
I'm uninformed. I'm right.
4-4-2.
What do you say?
I do sort of agree with James, because Bruno is quite possibly the best transitional 10 in world football, and that worked under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer because he played transitional football perfectly. He had real fast wide forwards, and he played on the break. Every manager that has come after him, and Bruno's numbers back this up, have tried to play a more possessional pressing game, and it doesn't work for Bruno. He needs to be played in a transitional setup, and he just isn't. So he doesn't work.
The most balanced midfield is probably Mount, Manu, and Ugarte.
Yeah, I agree with that.
If Mount could play, it would be, I would agree. But I would throw a different wrench in here and say we have a better chance of winning a title by switching to a 3 at the back under someone like Cameron, with the squad that we have, and going with 2 hard workers like Kabi and Ugarte in the middle, because then you kind of solve this problem of this thing, and you utilize the strength of fullbacks to. Nobody does it in the Premier League. I understand it's not like a Premier League thing, but I think if Kieran McKenna came in, for example, he might do it. And but I think that it just would suit us more, because you can also hide talented but slower defenders like Maguire and De Ligt in the center of a 3-back when you do it that way, and become really hard to beat. And you can still be really, really good in transition with 3-back with fast forwards. You can still hit people on the break and take advantage of that. I think for where our squad is at, we're actually closer to being successful there. And there was a few games under Ole, when obviously we did it with McKenna, that worked really, really well. And it was not sit deep counter football. It was the most progressive we ever saw, when we would switch it up a bit and go into a 3-back and put Shaw left center back and do some things like that. We played some brilliant games. The 2-0 win against City at Old Trafford right before lockdown. One of the best games and performances we've ever seen from them.
Martial was outrageous that day as well. Martial had a great game.
Hard-working beautiful ball for Bruno as well, wasn't it? It was a free kick. He flicked it up over the wall. It was unbelievable.
Do we have 3 center backs at the moment? I don't even think we do.
Well, Maguire's injured.
Evans, yeah.
Maguire's injured, so
we do. We've got
De Ligt.
Lindelof, De Ligt, Lissandro, and Johnny Evans.
Bruno centre back.
You can't forget about Johnny Evans.
Bruno.
I mean,
You got Casemiro as
Bruno
well.
centre back.
As if we're listing the slowest players on earth.
No, but hey, if you want to go 3 back, you could put Casemiro in there. You could.
Yeah.